Okay. Next point here. Okay, Dekel uses that little tip down again, keeps it line. Okay, nice little knife battle going cross court here, alternating feet.
Yeah, both players resisting the urge to overreach.
Yeah. I got to keep my freaking feet still. I know the ball is coming. I got a little up and out of the air. Okay, ball's coming at me. Let's see here. Ball's coming at me. It's up. Yeah, I gotta stay put there, hold my ground. As we all know, your hands are significantly much better when you're leaning into violence, when you're wanting violence, and your weight's going forward. K-Mac, if you want to touch on just that counter there.
Yeah, no, I think so. Unfortunately, I can relate to this a little bit too much. I think it's a product of Tyson jumping here of the paddle actually being down. He's recognizing he needs to get higher, but he's doing it with his body rather than the paddle. Had that paddle just been a little bit higher, I think he would have been able to stay grounded and time the counter better. But right when Dekel drops the head of his paddle with that ball out of the air, that's what should clue Tyson in.
Something's
there's
coming.
A good chance a flicker, a speed up is coming. So if the paddle gets up high enough, then usually you can get on top of the volley. But if the paddle stays a little bit lower, then we tend to jump with our bodies to try to get high enough to get on top of it. Not as good of an approach.
And hey, we can talk all day long about my counter because definitely I was up in the air. But something that B Long here is known to do is the guy is a cross court master. He doesn't like to redirect a whole lot. Dekel hits a nice little biting inside out dink.
Right.
B Long is pulled out of position. It's a decent dink. Obviously, it's at Dekel's knees there, but B Long could be redirecting this puppy up the line.
Yep.
Because right now it's kind of 1 versus 2. B Long is out, middle is open. But obviously, I got to do a better job there, leaning into violence and getting that sucker down.
Yeah, I like to use my stance when I'm playing. If you looked at that ball that B Long popped up, it got outside of his left foot, right? That's your cue.
This one right here.
You need to change the pattern, that you're losing that pattern, right? But because he doesn't change the pattern, like you mentioned, a little more comfortable going cross there, that's a high likelihood to pop that ball up. You see the Dekel's leaning in. He knows that he's ahead in the dinking exchange. So sometimes we've got to recognize we're behind. Just lift the dink and live to fight another day.
Just like it. Live to fight another day. Okay, and then CJ put a nice little hole through his shoulder. Okay, bang. Oh, we like that play. K-Mac, we like that play. Time and time again, like freaking clockwork. Shorter serve.
No.
Shorter return, though. And, hey, if they're unwinding, CJ's still coming in. Dekel's moving, feet are moving. I'm going middle. I'm going to cause that divorce ball. And we're going to keep driving away in that scenario.
Yeah, and it's a tough one to know whose responsibility that is. I mean, in hindsight, I think it's easy to say, well, CJ should have come over a little bit more towards the middle, knowing that Dekel has to cover his line. But it's Dekel's forehand. He's used to playing more the setup role, or CJ is used to playing more that setup role and deferring to Dekel's forehand a lot. So this is just one of those temporary confusion situations where the middle's a great choice.
All right. Big bang and serve. Nice little floaty drop. Oh my gosh, Dekel, stop it. It's a sick little pickup. Oh, CJ tries to go line. Okay, let's run that back here. Run that back. Nice little well-constructed point. Okay, and just take a look at the balance from the big man here.
Well, and as we know, Dekel closes in as fast as anybody. So to be able to stop on a dime and not pop this ball up is pretty impressive.
K-Mac, obviously, we see a lot of dinking at the highest level. the location of the dinking a lot of times ends up on the right person's inside foot. And it seems like, there's a lot of added pop-ups, or there's a lot of added unforced errors kind of off of that inside foot, simply because players tend to overcreate. So tell me, what is the easiest location to go to for a right-sided player as they're dealing with that inside foot dink on the backhand side?
Yeah, easiest thing to do is take spin out of the equation. Just go tip down right back to the middle or the other opposing player's inside foot as well. So you'll see, a few of those back and forth inside foot to inside foot dinks.
Okay, CJ tries to go line. Point gets extended here. Okay. Game 2 to Dekel and CJ here. Crowd is pumped up. We like it.
Quite a match.
Candy is flying. They're in Utah, as we know, K-Mac. Usually it's not alcohol, it's a lot of sugar.
They love their ice cream.
They love their not a lot of bars, but there's plenty of freaking candy shops, I'll tell you what. Oh my gosh. The old scorpion action. Come on. Okay. All right, we got a long extended point here. Deep return. Deck uses that same drop. Old Faithful. CJ with a nice block. A little ATP. Point gets extended. High bang. Drop. Now we're rolling. Looks like they're doing a little ISO B-long here. Oh man. K-Mac, tell us about that scorpion action, because that is something new that we're seeing at the highest level with right-sided players.
Yeah, we talked about when you're the off the ball player, your partner's in that cross court pattern, kind of your clue that they're probably going to hit the ball to you is when they drop the head of the paddle. That means they're usually changing direction. It's usually going to be with a speed up. So what CJ does here is he anticipates that attack. He switches the grip over to cover really both shoulder with his forehand. So he's going to sit his butt down, get as low as possible. And that way he's going to be able to cover either flick location, which is either shoulder, all with the same side of the paddle. Now he's vulnerable if Brendon's able to get this ball very, very low, but when they're dropping the head of the paddle and trying to hit an attack that's below the height of the net, it's almost impossible to keep that attack low. So by switching kind of the grip and the coverage here for CJ, he's able to cover either location that Long is likely to hit.
Okay, like that. Next point here, down 0-5. Oh, I was looking for some baking action, but there was nothing there today. Nothing there to. CJ did a great job of neutralizing.
You guys went into a natural switch there.
Okay, let's run that again. It's 15. Here we go. Okay, beautiful hybrid drop. I feel like with that drop, there was some room to bake there or to poach. CJ does a great job, as he is a tip down specialist. Does a great job of neutralizing. We got a little I formation going on here. Nothing to work with. I dink back. I dink back inside foot. Okay, and I mean, I swear, CJ, this guy could have completely pounded this ball. Look at that. The ball is at his waist. Okay, but just decides to stay disciplined.
His soft game so much that he's very selective about initiating attacks, out of the air at the kitchen line.
Okay, dinks this line. I go back inside foot. Wide, and I'm sitting. And I say, no. Okay, and something that I've played CJ plenty over the last, 7 or 8 years. And something I know is that just when there's, sometimes when there's a little added shape in his loop, and he likes to exaggerate that loop, there's something sneaky coming. And usually he's got 2 locations. 80% of the time it's always line, and 20% of the time it ends up going right hip, or goes middle. But I make sure to keep my chest on it. By myself, I guess not by myself all the time, but keep my chest on it. weight going somewhat backwards, but I was able to get down on it, take a full swing, and that's all she wrote.